listening to him. You better know where he is. You better give him $5. These kids over here better give him $50. Have mom and dad send you $50 to send to that gentleman, because he's going to go there and he's going to be the judge that when one of you gets pulled over in one of these illegal stop and search areas that is no longer legal in the state of Wisconsin, and they find your shit and they take you to jail, and your attorney says, no, this isn't legal anymore. And they say, okay, it's not legal anymore. Then the prosecutor brings it back up and says, we're going to charge you anyways, and it gets all the way to that building. You want that man to be the guy on the bench determining your fate. Believe me. My name is Charmie Gholson. I'm co-owner and editor of the Midwest Cultivator, as Adam told you. We're from Michigan. My business partner, Hillary, standing right here, and our assistant as well, Stephanie. And I'm here because I want to show you my medical marijuana card that was given to me by the state of Michigan, because my doctor, who knows a little bit more about health care than the politicians, determined that I qualified to use marijuana as my medicine. It's my medicine. It's what I choose to do. I gave birth at home. All my kids were born at home. I use homeopathic remedies. I know midwives who have been put in jail for helping other women give birth. I know hundreds and thousands of people who are sitting in jails right now for using marijuana as their medicine. I gotta tell you, I've had enough of this. I totally have had enough of this. Now in Michigan, we passed this law. It's statewide. You can be a caregiver. You can grow your plants legally. This card tells police that they're not supposed to arrest me. They're not supposed to take my children from me. They cannot come into my house and take my stuff. Yep. That's what this card is supposed to do, because we passed a ballot. We didn't leave it to the legislators in Michigan. They're too easily influenced by money and politics. We passed this statewide vote with signatures, and 63% of the voting population said, yeah, we think we should be able to do this. People aren't stupid. The people are way ahead of the politicians on this, way ahead of the politicians. And it's going to be your job to educate yourself and make sure that politicians know two things. The drug war is a failed public policy. Yeah. Failure. 40 years, almost $2 trillion of your parents and your grandparents and your tax dollars to do what? Drugs are everywhere. You can get heroin anywhere. Any 12-year-old can get heroin. It's illegal. Making shit illegal doesn't stop anyone from doing anything. All it does is it gives more money to the cops, more money to the politicians. It ruins lives. It doesn't do a thing. Ask these kids over here at Students for Sensible Drug Policy. You get caught with a joint, are you going to get funding for school? No. You can kill a whole family and get funding for school, federal funding. You can do all kinds of egregious, heinous things and get federal funding, but not have a marijuana cigarette. You can't get that. You can't get funding with that. Why is that? Somebody was saying, this is crazy. I heard somebody talking earlier like, why is marijuana illegal? Why? I'll tell you why. In order to have a war, you have to have an enemy. And the war on drugs isn't a war on drugs. If it was, we would legalize and regulate and control drugs. The war on drugs is a war on people. And the war on drugs is a war on marijuana users especially, because prior to the drug war, almost all of the police budgets came from what? Taxpayers' dollars. Now it's narcotics enforcement. That's how they get their money. And 80% of that is marijuana users. It's easy to smell. Give yourself a good smell. Smell your neighbor. You can find it anywhere. If you've got it on you, they can identify you. Not true with heroin, not true with cocaine. You can smell, like, you can smell it. It loves us. It loves you. And these people hate you, and they hate the weed. And that's why marijuana is illegal, because it's easy to find. They can take your stuff. They can find it really easily. So I want to encourage you to sign up for Students for Sensible Drug Policy. If you do nothing else, just get on their email list so that they can send you information, Wisconsin relevant news. I want you to remember, right there's where it's all happening, you guys. You can exercise your right to do whatever you want, but those people in that building are the ones that are going to hold your future. And I know there are a few other politicians. And I got to tell you one other thing. You know, in the last year and a half, so many changes have been brought about with regard to policy in the drug war. So many changes. The American Medical Association finally said, okay, We're not going to say that this is not medicine anymore. Go ahead and do some studies. The Obama administration issued, through the Attorney General, issued a statement saying, okay, don't harass people in states who voted medical marijuana. Stop going in and kicking in their doors and shooting their dogs. Leave them alone. So the wind is at our backs right now. It really is. But we have to all work together. I know that organizing marijuana users is sort of like herding cats. I've seen it for a long time. But it is doable. It absolutely is. And if there are leaders among you who believe strongly in what this, country stands for, this sort of constitutional rights the judge was talking about, put a suit on. Go and talk to people. Go and talk to people and say, you know what, I use marijuana and I get good grades and I love my grandmother and I go mow the lawn for my, dad every week and there's nothing wrong with me. Please, please help me end prohibition. Thanks a bunch.
Hey, put your hands together for Charmie Gholson, everybody.